Hello, this is Baldo Spirito, and in this video I will talk about special forces templates. You have three different special forces in the game: Marines, Mountaineers, and Paratroopers. Paratroopers are, well, for paratrooping, obviously, and what are Marines and Mountaineers for? You can check with the terrain adjusters. Marines get attack bonus on marches, 30%, 40% on river, and 50% for naval invasions. And Mountaineers get some movement, some attack, and some defense on hills, and again also on mountains. So these terrain bonuses are the main reason for using these special divisions. There are some other differences between like normal infantry and special divisions. That special divisions are a bit more expensive in terms of infantry equipment. They have a little less HP. Normal infantry has 25 HP. Special force Mountaineers and Marines have 20, and they have a bit more organization than infantry. I believe infantry was 50. No, it's 60. They actually only have like 10% more. 10 more, sorry. You can also get a bit more orc to make it like 15 more orc than infantry by taking these. But mainly, again, those organization, like the organization difference is usually not worth it for the cost difference. So the main reason to use them is the terrain bonuses. Like for example, when you're crossing a large river, you're gonna get minus 60% attack penalty, and if you're crossing with pure Marines, that's gonna be this is an additive bonus on that, so that's minus 60 becomes minus 20%, so you can deal a lot more damage when you're crossing a river. And engineer also adds some, by the way, and for to the naval invasion, and some it gives you some fort attack, it gives you some defensive movement, etc. Well, anyway, now I will move on to like what you can do with these divisions. Now special forces, like the name suggests, have special purposes, so I'm gonna design, I mean these won't ever be like the your main division. Like you will only use like a few number of them for specific purposes. So I'm designing them for those purposes as well. Now, if you have a lot of close air support when you are invading, suppose you're Italy and you already got North Africa, for example, and you want to invade Malta, you have full air superiority because you have like a ton of airports nearby, and UK only has one airport, so you can like get very easy close air support bombing on it. Then this is a very good template to invade, because 10 wit has insane amount of organization per wit, and it's gonna take a long time for his defenses to break your organization, and you don't really need to deal damage with your land force that much. I mean, you could even invade with 5 infantry, but might as well use the soft attack here. As I mean, the cost difference isn't huge, and you only need like 8-10 divisions to invade, so might as well just invade with Marines. And basically you're just gonna, this is gonna be your orc sponge, and the cast is gonna deal most of the damage. That's the idea of this division. Now if you don't have air support, or at least good air support, like if the enemy can contest, what you're gonna need a lot of soft attack on your Marines, and this is something you would use with usually with superior firepower integrated support, to maximize your soft attack through the support, through support companies. And the reason is, when you add like the line artillery, your attack bonus for naval invasions is gonna go down, because basically the terrain bonus or penalty is determined by the average of all your battalions. So in order to get to maximum amphibious bonus, you wanna use pure marines. Here you have 70%, as you see. And the idea is to get the soft attack through the support companies, have a lot of orc, stack a lot of soft attack per bit. But of course, the downside of this division is very expensive. I mean, you have low HP, so you're gonna take like a very high amount of equipment loss when you're trying to invade with this. But I mean, if you're invading like a really important location, say Gibraltar, then it might be worth it to the cost might be worth it, like if you're getting something really strategic in return. The third division is 20 with Naval Invasion. Now this can be sort of used like a more generic division, like if you have command bonuses for Marines. Like for example, with USA, you can actually build like a lot of these and use them as like your mainline infantry as well. But still, its main purpose is going to be to naval invade and then hold the invasion until you can bring in tanks and stuff. And when this is more for naval invading on a larger scale, like instead of just invading like one province island like Malta or Gibraltar. Because I mean, the issue with 10 mit when you're naval invading on a larger scale is you have the transport capacity, which is 10 at this tech, and it's 50 on 1940 tech, and it's 150 on the 44 tech. So that's the number of divisions you can use, and if you're invading with 10 wit, basically you're going to be able to invade less amount of provinces. And also it takes longer to plan a naval invasion with lower wit. So this is better for large scale invasion, like if you're, for example, D-Daying like the Holocaust advanced year. And you usually want to use an 80 with this as well, because like if you're, I mean, if he's countering you with like Space Marines or something, this could be a problem. With or light tanks, 80 makes you resilient against Space Marines and light tanks, so it's a good idea to use one. You might even use one with 10 wit, but I mean that can be way too expensive sometimes. And this is the notorious Space Marine template. The idea of Space Marine is to add one heavy tank in a Marine division to get the armor piercing and breakthrough. Now you still have good enough bonuses for terrain. Normally, if you make like a full tank division, this would be like a -10, -20, depending on how heavy your tank division is. And the same with amphibious. But putting a heavy tank in your Marines allows you to get good river crossing and amphibious terrain bonus, while also having armor and piercing on your division. This is why some people think Space Marines are overpowered, and it's banned on some servers. I personally don't think it's overpowered, and if you're playing on a server that allows it, this is something you may want to use. And again, because it's 4 bit, it lets you make even larger scale invasions. Like with 4 bit divisions and 4 transport tech, you can essentially like invade this entire coast at the same time, which is like if you have the enough industry to produce all that stuff, and you can invade that, it's basically indefensible. I mean, at least you're gonna land. He might counterattack and kick you out, but you will land for sure. And Space Mountaineer is a similar idea to Space Marine. The difference is being you use this to attack mountains. I think this is a bit less useful because I mean a lot of mountains can either be like uh, a lot of mountains you don't need to attack, or I mean you can ignore attacking mountains or just go around them, but you always have to naval invade something. Like the naval invasions are more strategically important. The only place I would say mountains are really important is this front, um, on Tunisia. So either Italy or Romania may want to build some of these to attack here. But one issue is like if the enemy is has like really good units defending, even this is not going to break it. So like the mountain line here is like only 4 provinces, and actually here it is even 3, and they can like put some even mechanized or some tanks here, in which case this is not going to be enough. But when you're doing marines though, they cannot put good divisions everywhere. Like that's why marines are a lot more useful. But I mean you can sometimes use a bit of space mountaineers. I don't remember ever building like more than 20 divisions of this, and it's not very good for defending either. I mean like the 7% defense is just not worth the extra cost. So mountaineer isn't something that is used as frequently. Paratroopers are for paratrooping, and there are essentially two types of it. One is like you do the cheapest possible paratrooper and just spam it everywhere to mess up his logistics. You can use it to like paratroop behind these lines to try to get a surround. You can try to do it to like you can paratroop to damage his infrastructure, like mess up his efficiency on his factories, etc. And this is what you use for that kind of business. I mean, they will probably get wiped after your enemy responds, but they are for just giving him more, just pissing him off. And when you're using this, you wanna have a lot of it. Like if you drop with 56 of this, then you can cause a lot of cancer on your opponent. Another way to use paratroopers is to build some actual like quality paratroopers that can fight. But the downside, of course, is you'll be like paratrooping behind enemy lines most of the time, and you're very likely to get wiped, and this costs a lot of money. And so this is harder to like use appropriately. I sometimes use something like this when I have a very high amount of radar and I see everything. Like for example, if you have 5 level 6 radars in southern UK, you can see like this whole, you can probably see like this whole area. And if you see that you can get like a good surround using this kind of division, then you can use it. Like it's doable. The same thing is true for the Russia-Germany front or anywhere else actually. Like I mean, as long as you have radar and you see like, or maybe some subs, for example, you may be able to get a surround on Japan by paradropping here, like with quality divisions. If you're seeing like it's empty with your subs or whatever. But this is usually best done with superior firepower, of course, because you want the full soft attack from your support and rocket artillery. And there is a super expensive version of it with the same idea, with the 10 with quality marine. You're stacking even more soft attack per bit here and more orc per bit. This is extremely expensive, but if you if you think it's gonna help you surround tanks or something, then it might be worthwhile to use it. Yes, this is pretty much it for special forces templates. Thank you for watching.